Welcome back to the Digital Sleuth, where we pull back the curtain on the most dangerous criminals to ever walk the earth and the digital landscape. Today, we are looking at a moment frozen in time. February 10th, 2002, Mazatlán, Mexico. It is a warm Sunday evening in a town famous for its golden sunsets and rolling waves. Most people are thinking about dinner or a final walk along the boardwalk. But Officer Angel Antonio Arias Torres, he is focused on a white Mercury Grand Marquis that just blew past him at 5 miles over the speed limit. To the casual observer, this is just another traffic stop. Routine. Mundane. A simple check for a license and registration. Maybe a $50 fine. But in reality, we are watching the most significant 30 seconds in the history of North American organized crime. This isn't just a story about a speeding ticket. It is a cybercrime documentary in the making. A case study in how the world's most sophisticated criminal networks were built on the backs of sociopaths. These are the same types of organizations that today dominate the dark web and execute massive phishing attacks. They were built by men who thought they were completely untouchable. The man behind the wheel of that white car is not a random tourist. He is Ramon Arellano Felix, the enforcer. The man with a $2 million bounty on his head and a permanent spot on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. Ramon was the guy who turned drug trafficking into a blood sport. He made even the most hardened cartel leaders wet themselves with fear just by walking into a room. And then we have the officer, earning $500 a month. He is about to do what the FBI, the DEA, and international intelligence agencies couldn't do with unlimited budgets and years of hunting. He is about to end an empire. Using nothing but a $200 service weapon and a notebook. How did a man who survived international manhunts and wars with El Chapo fall because of a minor traffic violation? To understand the end, we have to look at how this monster was programmed from the start. Culiacan, 1970. The air is thick with dust. This was the original classroom for the Arellano Felix brothers. In this environment, you didn't dream of being a doctor or an engineer. You dreamed of the trocas, those shiny trucks, and the absolute power that came with the business. Ramon was the youngest of the brothers. But even at 14 years old, he was different. While his brothers were busy calculating the risks of logistics, acting as the network architects of their day, Ramon was the malware. He didn't just want to move product across a border, he wanted to humiliate his rivals, to leave a mark that no one would ever forget. Think of the Arellano Felix organization as an early, analog version of a modern dark web syndicate. They controlled the Golden Corridor from Tijuana all the way to San Diego. Just like today's, cyber cartels use dark web scams and major phishing attacks to control digital territory. The brothers controlled the physical gates. Every kilo of cocaine or heroin moving into California was essentially a packet of data. And Ramon, he was the firewall. If you didn't pay the subscription fee to move your product, you didn't just lose your access, you lost your life. By the early 90s, Ramon had become a ghost. He lived a double life that would make any modern identity thief jealous. One night, he is in a designer suit at a high-end nightclub, buying expensive champagne for every stranger in the room. The next night, he is personally using power tools on a rival in a basement. The FBI eventually put him on their 10 most wanted list, making him only the second Mexican national to ever receive that distinction. But here is the technical flaw in his system. Ramon believed that because he had encrypted his life with bribes and terror, the antivirus of the law could never find him. Every great crime story needs a rival. For Ramon, That rival was a businessman named Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. This wasn't just a war over territory and money. This was a war of philosophies. El Chapo was the social engineer of the drug world. He preferred bribes over bullets. And he always wanted to stay under the radar. In his mind, attention was bad for the bottom line. He operated like a high-level phishing operation. Quiet, deceptive, and massive. Ramon was the exact opposite. He was the DDoS attack. He wanted to overwhelm the entire system with raw, brutal, and public force. He used violence as a form of advertising. Every brutal act was a message to the world about his dominance. The war between them reached a breaking point at the Guadalajara airport in 1992. Ramon's gunmen opened fire in a crowded parking lot, trying to catch El Chapo off guard. They missed their target. But they killed a Catholic cardinal caught in the crossfire. This was the ultimate system crash. The Mexican government, under massive international pressure, had to reboot their entire strategy. The heat became immense for everyone involved. But Ramon, in his pure arrogance, thought his code was unbreakable. He had already survived motorcycle assassins, car bombs, and a 1,995 ambush where his armored car was peppered with hundreds of rounds. He walked away from that ambush laughing. He truly believed he was a god in a Grand Marquis. February 2002. The system is finally starting to fail. The FBI is squeezing every contact they have. And the dark web of informants is closing in. The Arellano Felix family decides it is time to go offline for a while. They move to Mazatlán to lay low and wait for the heat to die down. But Ramon is bored. He is a man addicted to the high of power and the adrenaline of being feared. He has been drinking in his hotel room, getting more and more frustrated with his situation. Finally, he decides he needs to get out and drive. Now, let us look at Officer Angel Antonio Arias Torres again. 28 years old, a father of two. In a police force where so many others took the silver or the lead, Arias Torres was a glitch in the corrupt system. He actually believed in his oath to protect the community. When he saw that white Mercury speeding through his patrol zone, he didn't see a drug lord. He didn't see a ghost. He just saw a traffic violation. This is where the criminal logic fails. If Ramon had just handed over a fake ID, something he definitely had in his pocket, he likely would have walked away with a simple ticket, but he chose the violent exploit. He decided to draw his weapon instead of his papers. The gunfight lasted exactly 30 seconds. Ramon fired first, hitting the officer twice in the chest. But Arias Torres stayed in the fight, even as he was falling, even as his life was fading away. He stayed focused. He managed to fire back. His second shot hit Ramon in the head, killing him instantly. The most wanted man in Mexico died right there on the asphalt. He was killed by a man who made less in a year than Ramon spent on a single bottle of wine. The enforcer was deleted by a routine task. The story of Ramon Arellano Felix is a powerful reminder. No matter how sophisticated a criminal network is, whether it is a drug cartel or a global ransomware syndicate, it always has a human vulnerability. In today's world, we face digital cartels. We see financial fraud mechanics that steal billions through major phishing attacks and dark web scams. But the defense is often the same as it was for Officer Arias Torres. It comes down to vigilance. And it comes down to integrity. Here is how you can protect your own territory from these modern digital threats. First, you need to harden your firewall. Use multi-factor authentication on everything. It is the digital equivalent of wearing an armored vest. Even if a speeding hacker gets your password, they still can't get into the system. Second, always verify the identity, just like Ramon's fake persona. Hackers use phishing to pretend they are someone they aren't. Always verify the source before you click a link or pull them over. And finally, report the crime. If you've been a victim of a scam, do not stay quiet. Use resources like ic3.gov or other international cybercrime portals to report the digital license plate of the attacker. Officer Angel Antonio Arias Torres never knew he was going to be a hero when he started his shift that night. He just thought he was doing his job. But in doing that job, he ended a decade of terror. He proved that the system can still work if the people inside it refuse to break. In a world full of monsters in designer suits and hackers hiding behind glowing screens, sometimes the person who makes the biggest difference is the one who refuses to look the other way. I am the Digital Sleuth. If you found this cybercrime documentary insightful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the shadows. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and always keep your software updated. Would you like me to analyze the digital footprint of the Tijuana Cartel's modern successors? Or should we look into a famous dark web marketplace takedown next? Let me know in the comments below. Goodbye for now.